All right, welcome. It's about time to talk 718 GT4. Haven't talked as much about this because I wasn't sure that I was going to get one. Now I'm pretty sure. My deposit's down, my order's in. It should get locked here real soon. And so once it gets locked, or once the build sheet gets locked, then we'll go into whatever V200 and then go into production. So we're looking at likely somewhere in the July-August range. It was a May build or May allocation for a May production. I don't know. We're not really sure. Are they behind? Are they ahead? Where are they? So I had to make sure that I got my final build in. So now that I've made my final decision, I'll feel comfortable making a video that I'm likely going to get the car. And so I wanted to screen share here and just kind of take you through the methodology, the thought process of what I'm going to do here. So let me swap screens here. So first, this is the build of the car, but we'll go through it start to finish, and I'll kind of tell you my methodology or why I choose what I choose. But I'm getting it from Porsche of Wilmington, North Carolina. At the time when I tried to get the car, there just weren't any available, and so I had to go through a connection that's another connection and another connection in order to get a spot, because if you want a GT car, you can't just buy them. Like, you can't just get it. So you have to go and play the game. And so I'm playing the game and trying to get a spot. And so what we're gonna do is, which I think is gonna be pretty neat, is I'm gonna fly up and I'm going to sort of give a bit of a schooling to the young guys who do the new car preps. I'm going to fly up there, take delivery of the car, sign all the paperwork and all that stuff, and then show them. We're going to sort of do a new car delivery. Then I'm going to ship the car down here and polish it. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do PPF on it or not. I also haven't decided. There's a very high probability I end up doing a giveaway on this car. So Porsche Wilmington will also be doing another call like this, kind of going through the options that I've chosen, and they can give me their take, and I can yell at them and tell them I don't want that. We can kind of go back and forth. So that's the plan for the car, and then we'll see. I mean, having a GT3 and a GT4 at the same time, we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be cool. The plan for me is to make it my kind of daily driven car, swap between that and the M3, and have the GT3. I really just kind of swap cars from day to day. I only live a mile from the garage anyway, or from my house. The garage is a mile from my house. So for me, it's about tinkering and playing and, doing a couple of spirited drives here and there in the car. So that's just what I like. And, you can say what you want, but it's my money. I'm going to do what the heck I want with it. So anyway, let's go through step by step the GT4, and I'll kind of give you some asides here as I kind of work through it. So here's the configurator. Let's blow this up so you can see it on screen. Actually, I'm going to bring it over here to the side a little bit. I keep looking to the right because I have another monitor. So let's keep me out of the frame here. And let's... sorry, we have people in the entryway now. So it's gotten pretty tight in this place, so you can hear the tape machine going in the background likely. All right, so color. I always like white, but I already have a white GT3. I also like blue, and so my color for this car that I'm doing is a gentian blue metallic, which looks quite a bit more. It's like a dark metallic looking blue. I've done some searches and some stuff on what the color actually looks like. Actually, let's bring that up here. So it looks something like this, like what these cars look like. So that's gentian. That's the color of the car. It kind of changes color between dusk and daylight, if you will. But that's the plan for the color of the car, is to do gentian blue, and which is similar in color to my M3, maybe a little bit darker, a little bit more metallic flake. But I'm not a Miami blue. I don't like baby blue. Chalk is kind of cool, but I don't know. I'd rather have white. So the two colors I was really considering were, I guess 3 colors, was red, gentian blue, or GT silver. And I'm going to go blue. And then the option would be so you can do silver wheels, which I know some people like. I don't like silver wheels. I prefer gunmetal looking wheels. So you can do silver, or you can do satin black, which would be another option, or we can do this, kind of weird satin aurum. I'm not a bronze wheel kind of guy. I don't think I've ever had bronze wheels. Oh, yeah, I did have bronze CE 28s on my red S2000, so it looked kind of weird. So I was between satin black and gunmetal, and on this dark blue, I prefer to stick with the gunmetal look, that kind of standard platinum satin finish. So it's a satin finish, but it's they call it platinum, but it's more of a gunmetal type look. So that's the plan for the wheels. I doubt I'll do any kind of aftermarket wheels. I think these look pretty good. I think that looks pretty sweet. So I doubt I'd do anything else on this car, but who knows? We'll see. I just did aftermarket wheels on the GT3 RS. We'll see how that goes. And then interior. So you have the option to do standard interior, which has like that kind of squishy plastic on all the trim. It still has leather on the seats, so the seats are partial leather. But I'm going to do the full leather interior instead of just the standard. So why is it showing a check mark on both? Yeah, that's what we want. So this adds leather to the dash, adds leather to the top of the doors, adds leather to the side pieces here, leather to the door handles, and then the rest, the seat inserts. This is all Alcantara. So, oh shoot. Okay, yeah, I think you guys can see. Okay, let me just minimize this because it's messing me up here. So the options I was considering were to do, I don't like 18-way seats. Just too many freaking options. In my .1 GT3, my 2014 Sapphire Blue GT3, I had the 2-way seats. I didn't build that car. I didn't have an option. Sport buckets didn't come until late 2015, and so the full buckets weren't an option. And so what's going on with the configurator here? Why is it showing all these check boxes? It's looking a little funky. So the 2-way sport seats look like this. Some would call them sofa seats. They're actually really great. The bolsters are nice. They're super comfortable. They're easy to get in and out of. And so since this was going to be my daily driver, I was considering just doing the 2-way sport seats and just sticking with that. But I let reason come in, and I said, how much time and money am I always spending to find better seats in cars? And so why don't I just man up, lose some freaking weight, and do these instead. So that's the plan, is to do the sport buckets. The only problem with the buckets is they're not difficult to get in and out of. They're just annoying to get in and out of. So you just have to, just prepare before you get in the car, I guess. I love just the regular stitching. I don't want to do any kind of deviated stitching. I like the silver option. I just think it looks fantastic. So the plan is to stick with that. It actually comes with black belts. So that's what's messing up here. So let's do this. Let's close this. Let's close my order. That's probably what is messing it up here. Let's go back to the Porsche site. And let's reopen the configurator and start from scratch. Hopefully it won't remember any of that. 718 GT4. There we go. And then you can see our stuff on the side here. Good job, Chris. This is Chris's MacBook or iMac Pro. And I told him don't mess the desktop up. Okay, so we're doing gentian blue. We're doing the black, and of course you could do yellow or red. I'm not a yellow stitching or red stitching kind of guy. And so for whatever reason, I like green because green is different. But we're going to stick with the silver, and then we're going to do full buckets and add the $5,900. Okay, so we've already added $8,700 to the sticker price. So we're at almost $110 already. But I love this style, this look of clean, silver. We're going to do silver door. What do you call it? The silver seat belts as well. All right, so seat centers and stitching. So you can do extended deviated stitching. So what this does is, does get you some. You could choose these different deviated stitching colors. Again, in this car, I want to keep it silver, so I'm not going to add the $3,200 to do a different color deviated stitching. You could also do the steering columns casing in leather with deviated stitching. I kind of like this option, but you can't do it without adding the full package. You could probably do some sort of CXX ordering. My RS has this option chosen. You could choose it on the RS and stick with the standard stitching. And so what I'll probably do is just do the steering column. It's this piece right here. See, it's this thing right here is normally in plastic. It is really nice to have that in leather. And it's even better to have it deviated stitching, but again, they don't give you the option to just add that with the stock silver stitching. So I'm going to just skip that and not have that. You could also do the door cards. So the door cards in deviated stitching, which I'm not going to do. And so this is kind of a newer thing the last couple of years because so many people were trying to do different color stitching. You could do the leather seat backs as well. I prefer to leave it, exposed carbon, which is what the sport buckets have. So none of these options I'm going to choose. And then the exterior options. So let's go back to the exterior look of the car here. And so headlight cleaning system, covers painted in exterior color. That's these little nibbies right here. They not show on the picture. But there's a headlight washer somewhere. I don't know where it is in the GT4. So you want to keep that painted in the same color. So it's $300, and you definitely want that. You could do it in a deviated color, which I'm not interested. Door handles in gloss black, not my bag. I have that on my GT3. I wouldn't have chosen that. Again, I didn't build my GT3 RS. And then the Porsche logo in satin black. So the Porsche logo is back here. You don't have the option to remove it. I don't think it's a badge you can take off. I guess we'll find out. But I'm going to pay for that $220 to have that disappear, if you will. I don't want to see the GT4 logo. I'd end up pulling it off anyway. And so what I will do is delete the GT4 logo. But you could do it in the exterior color if you wanted to, which would be kind of weird. Or you could do it in high gloss black. And that means that they paint it on. I don't want that. I don't want that permanent there. So I'm going to just delete the logo. I love this kind of clean look. I know lots of people like their GTs and their M logos, but I don't. I prefer it without it. And then this is a nice touch. It's really expensive, but it's a plastic aluminum look. It's plastic, but I checked that box. I think it's worthwhile. On to performance, 6-speed manual transmission. Part of the reason why I want this GT4 rather than trying to wait and get a GT4 RS is that I really want the manual to complement my PDK GT3. So I'm gonna, I'm fine with getting an earlier version later this year, early next year. They'll have an option for the for PDK. Now, interior-wise, you can add the Sport Chrono. Sport Chrono is completely worthless, but I think it looks better on a GT4 with that on there. So if you pull it off, I think it looks better with the Sport Chrono package. So I'm gonna choose that, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But I'm gonna leave the gauge black. I like it better that way. Porsche carbon ceramics are a must. Oh, they're so good. They look so clean. It looks so nice. And one of the neat options on this car is you now have the option to choose if you want to do black calipers I've really been torn on this, but blue and yellow just looks so good. I think I'm good with leaving it. This is the style. I think this is what I want. Just gives a little, this is my subtle hot boy choice, is to go with yellow calipers instead of black. Would be exclusive and cool and less chosen. But I want the yellow on this. So sometimes I go hot boy on you. Most of the time I'm boring. On to lights. So you have a bi-xenon option or LEDs. The LEDs are amazing. I'm going to choose the LEDs. And so it makes the headlight look black and kind of blacks out a lot of the chrome. Yeah, I think the LEDs are great. Now, light design is something that's grown on me. In the beginning, I thought it was a waste of money. What light design will do is gives you like these little subtle LEDs in the interior, so you get a little bit of a glow at night. And so you get door handle. There's like a little door handle area where you tuck your hand in, and you get a little bit of illumination. The door, in the door storage compartment with the handles, the footwells, and you can adjust. That kind of illumination. It's just a nice little touch. Makes the interior feel a little nicer. So I'm going to do that. I don't want power folding mirrors. I don't see any need for that on this car. I don't like power folding. I'd rather manually control that. Specifically for washing, I want to be able to manipulate them and not worry about damaging a motor or something like that. And then auto dimming mirrors and integrated rain sensor. It's $700. I'll save my $700. I'd prefer to control that on my own, so I don't want auto. I don't like auto wipers either, so I would prefer to control those. So that I'll save myself $1,000 there, and not choose those. But these are really common options that people would choose. I don't want them. Interior, so we don't really need to mess with any of this stuff. And I was kind of torn on. You do the top dead center mark. Do you leave it in black? I like red because, to me, the red won't get as dirty as quickly as yellow. So you have red or yellow. Obviously, the yellow matches the dial. Technically matches the brakes, which so the interior and exterior are two different environments. So I'm not a huge. I'm not worried about matching the brakes. I like the red because it matches the Porsche logo. It just gives you. I love that top dead center mark. Just a subtle little detail. Just my preference. I don't need 2-zone climate control. There's only 2 seats, so I think we'll be fine with 1 climate control. I very rarely will have anybody in the car with me. Seat heating. I'm not going to choose that. I'll never use that. And hold on. Let me pause 1 second. All right, back to it. Sorry, I had to run up to the new building and meet with an architect to get it drawn up so we can submit it to the county to get moving to move our distribution up there. So we talked about the red 12 o'clock marker and talked about seat heating. So I guess depending on where you live, seat heating would be useful. I'm not interested in that, so we'll scrap the seat heating. But the smoking package is something, it's a no-cost option, makes a big difference. It adds a power outlet to the center, and notice it add that cap or the cover instead of just an empty cubby. It makes it a clean-looking, little covered area. So that's a must on pretty much every Porsche. And you can choose to put the luggage net in the footwell or not. The luggage net goes right here. I guess I'll add it. It doesn't hurt to have it. I don't really like the fire extinguisher if I can help it. It just gets in the way. But if I was going to take the car to the track, it would be a nice thing to have. Something you could always buy after the fact if you needed to. It's just a little frame that goes on the seat rail, so you could always add it if you needed to. But that looks, they don't show a picture of it. So we'll skip that. A lot of this interior painted stuff, we don't want to do any of that. Friends don't let friends paint stuff in their interior, so skip that if you can help it. I don't want climate control. I don't want the vehicle. I don't want any of that stuff. But I do want to do the seat belts in silver gray. I had this in my original GT3. I didn't think I'd like this, but it's a nice contrast. It kind of matches the door pulls and the stitching. So I am going to do that. And then I'm not going to do instrument dials in white. I hate that. I like them black and gray and leave them alone. Everybody loves white gauges. The reason why I don't like white gauges is because it you can see all the air indicators better. So all these things that would light up, like if you had a TPMS trigger or check engine light or something like that, it looks like it's on all the time when it's white. So I prefer not to have that. Plus the other gauges you really don't use very much. So I like to leave it in dark gray and black. So none of this stuff. And then stitching in deviated color. This is so there's two stitching options. I think one, I forget what the difference is. There's a $1,500 version and then there's the $3,200 version. I'm not doing either one of those, so I don't care to spend too much time on understanding that. Interior leather. So you could do the interior trim, so all the silver stuff you could do in leather, which I don't want to do because I want to do it in carbon fiber, which will come up here in the next set of stuff. You could do the dashboard trim, so all the plastic, like there's a couple of plastic pieces that surround like I think the air vents and like the center channel area. You could do that in leather. I find that unnecessary. The sun visors are in Alcantara, so we'll leave that alone. But I do want to do the steering column case in leather. And so again, that's this piece here. That to me makes a $470 difference. So I'm going to choose to do that. But remember, I was talking about they don't give you the option to do steering column casing in leather deviated stitching unless you buy the deviated stitching package. So you can't do that. Climate control panel, no. Seats in leather, no. Fuse box in leather, that's the fuse box down here in the kick panel. I don't want that. Floor mats with deviated carpeting, leather edging and stitching, no. I don't find that to be necessary. I like the floor mats that come with the car. Inner door seal guards in leather, that's the this thing down here, no. I'll leave that alone. Owner's manual, wallet in leather, no, don't care about the owner's manual. In fact, I'd take it out of the car and put it somewhere else. And so let's look at Alcantara, door trim, package in Alcantara, door, so that would be to do all this stuff in Alcantara, no. Sun visors are already in Alcantara, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. They'll have warning labels on them. So on the GT4, they may not be Alcantara already. So I didn't even think about that. But the storage, the Porsche logo on the center console, I don't find that to be necessary. These little touches, I'm glad they give the option, but not something I'm really interested in. Or you could do the Porsche crest. You can do that there, but I'm skipping those, just leaving it alone. But interior carbon fiber, this is where you choose, if you have the regular interior trim or the non-full leather, you could do this, but you check this box, and this is what changes all of this to carbon fiber, which I think is cool. So I'm going to choose that option. I have the illuminated door thingers in carbon fiber on my GT3 RS, but I'm not going to choose that on this car. I don't really care to make them illuminated. That's $1,500. Carbon floor mats with leather etching. I don't think these are actually very good, so I'm going to skip that for $1,000. And then you could do the owner's manual in carbon fiber, but again, I don't care about that. I'm going to take it out of the car anyway. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do. Again, we just made the interior trim carbon instead of brushed. But the pedals, the Porsche aluminum pedals, you see that down there, how it changed? The Porsche aluminum pedals are amazing. I love these things; they're so good. So I'd highly recommend that option if you can stomach this $540. But I don't want either one of these, illuminated or aluminum. Audio, I don't need a smartphone compartment. I don't need that. It's just like a little tray. It doesn't really work because smartphones change so much. I am going to do Bose. I may do a stereo in this car, but I'm going to check the Bose option. I'm going to check the CarPlay option as well. And then I'm going to pick it up at the dealership, so I'm not going to do any of the delivery experience stuff. So we're going to skip over that. So that's the build. So let's take a look at the overview here. So again, base car 99.2. We have $24,000 in upgrades, plus the processing and delivery fee. So the car is going to be just shy of $125. So there's Gentian blue, the black leather interior, $2,160. Doing the headlight cleaning systems in the exterior color was $300. Porsche logo in satin black was $220, and then the fuel cap was $160, and then we got rid of the GT4 logo. 6-speed manual, chrono package, Porsche carbon ceramics, which I would highly recommend you do. With Porsche brakes comes Porsche brake dust. I don't think you want to deal with that if you can help it. The carbon ceramics, unless you're a heavy track user, I would highly recommend. Even if you're an occasional track user, the carbon ceramics will be fine. Leaving the platinum satin, the 424 wheels on the car, the black PDLS LEDs and light design package was another $2,500. The steering wheel marker in red for $330, full buckets. Smoking package, luggage net, the silver seat belts, the center leather column. Interior trim is in carbon fiber with the leather, so that comes with the leather interior package. The aluminum footwells, Bose, CarPlay, and the included maintenance, which I would never use, but I'll do the maintenance myself, so at $124.8. And if you're not familiar with GT cars, you'd be happy to just pay sticker for them. Maybe that will change if the economic conditions change, but this is sort of how the car's set up. I'm not sure. We'll see what the terms of if I take a loan on it, or if I just pay it off, or just buy it cash. I'll probably just get a loan, just keep my cash. But we'll see. I'm assuming rates are going to be extremely low. We'll see how stingy the banks are with the money. But I'll probably just, I put $2,500 down to buy the car, so I probably just won't put any money down and just finance the whole thing. I mean, why not? If it's going to be like 2% interest, I can make a lot more money on that $125,000. And then, depending on what I do with the car, if I keep the car, if I do a giveaway of the car, giveaways, what I generally do is just pay the car off before the giveaway. That way I have the title in hand and I can just sign it over to the next person. So that's my Cayman GT4. That's the car. That's what I'm planning on getting. It's going to look something like this. And I should have it in mid to late summer would be my expectation. But that's my thought process on all the build choices. I've been playing with the Porsche configurator since 2012 and have become pretty well versed in it. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I know enough about what the options do to be dangerous, to be able to make a rather quick decision. I mean, I think I built this car in about 15 minutes, just deciding what I wanted to pay for and what I didn't. And so that's it, man. Gentium blue. This thing is going to pop when I get this thing polished and coated. Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. Yes, I will polish the new car. So the plan is I'm going to go pick it up. I'm not going to drive it. I'm going to pick it up. We're going to clean it, I guess, for video up there, kind of doing some tutorials with their staff on how to, prepare a car and, take delivery with them, shoot that whole video, shoot those videos, and then ship the car down here to my place. And that depends on if I decide to do a PPF. The S-Tech Dynashield will determine whether or not I do that, whether I ship it to me or I ship it to Billy. We'll see. But this car is going to be cool. I'm excited for it. Dundon's already working on figuring out getting their development car so they can make an exhaust for it. And really, the beauty of these cars, they come with a full coilover, adjustable coilover, so you can lower it, set it up how you want, put an exhaust on it, and that's about it. The one thing I'm not sure about is are the U.S. cars showing up with a particulate filter that needs to be removed in order to unleash it. But in general, this thing is going to be pretty sick. Just right out of the box, put a radar detector on it, tint the windows, polish the paint, put an exhaust on it, call it a day. That's the plan. That's my 718 GT4. I feel so fortunate to be able to do this, get one. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for this car to show up here on the channel pretty soon.